There are a lot of teams in the NFL with 4 or less wins as we approach week 9, but the team with 4 wins that might be the most interesting to me is the New England Patriots. There was so much going on before the season in New England. They spent $150 million in free agency in what felt like under 20 minutes when all the reports were coming in. They didn't trade up, still got a top-tier rookie quarterback all the way down at 15. Mac Jones goes on to start over Cam Newton, the former MVP, who's having a very good preseason in his own right. And here we go. It seems like the Patriots are right back on track. Fans get excited with the idea of a potential next dynasty. Well, they go off to start 1-3, and things aren't looking all that great. However, in today's video, I want to talk about the past 5 games they've played, begin to unpack of why I think the Patriots are about to take off in the second half of the NFL season. And usually I'm not one to do prediction videos. I like to stay away from that. I like to do like the film analysis and everything because it's so volatile, because you have to do hours and hours of film study. But let's say like the first drive you go 3 and out, and the next drive you muff a punt, don't get it, and then you're like down like 17-0 before like you even have like your third possession. It's really hard to calculate. So we're gonna get in some predictions of what I see at the Patriots. So let's get into it. But before I get into the players, how they're performing, their schemes, what I see of them having success moving forward, I want to talk about the different ways to win a football game. First of all, we have what I like to call the oh shit game. This is where seemingly nothing goes right. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a few weird things that can happen that it can take to find yourself in a big hole early. This is their Houston Texans game, and like fumbling on the 1-inch line, missing an extra point, giving up weird fluky long touchdowns. And now against an inferior team, you are down 22-9 in the third quarter. Games like these, much like the Chiefs did in their Super Bowl run, they were able to win these games. Not lose your composure, take advantage of every opportunity given, and that's exactly what the Patriots did. And the next kind of game is called the double tap game. Now this is a Zombieland reference if you didn't know, where you kill a zombie, always go back to finish the job, make sure it's dead or else you might regret it. Now this is where you find yourself with a big early lead. Can you be mentally tough enough to stay focused and energized, keep your foot on the gas pedal, and never give the other team hope that they're desperately looking for? Yes, that's what we're referring to the 54-13 win against the Jets. And I get it, they're a bad team, but beating an NFL team like this isn't easy, and that's why we hardly ever see blowouts like this. Now the last and the most important win, and why New England has been so great in the past 20 years, is the wire-to-wire games. This is where you're coming down the last 2 minutes of a one-possession game. Can you make that one stop? Can you drive the ball down and get that one score? The Patriots' success after all of these years happened because Belichick and his defense always could get the job done, and when it was Brady's turn, he could always make it happen as well. This is where we're talking the Bucks, Cowboys, and Chargers games come in. These games are so important because if you're on the losing end of these games, you're more likely going to have a losing record. If you win these games, you're going to make the playoffs and even make a run at it. Now, before we start talking about all the players, I want to say the one mistake I think the Patriots did make. I think they underrated Cam Newton as a person, because after they cut him, Cam Newton did not owe them shit, but he's still on winning the interview said, I would have been the backup for Mac Jones. Like I could have taken under my mentor. I could have like teached him things, and that's what they're missing right now. Cam Newton as a player, when it gets 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 on the goal line early on, they were losing some of these close games because their drives were stalling out so early. So I really think they should have kept Cam Newton. If they wanted to get rid of him at the trade deadline when it's not working out, but I think they underestimated him as a player. I think he would have been great for Mac Jones these first 8 weeks. But they do have almost everything else for these games. They've been good, but not Belichick good at avoiding costly penalties. To emphasize, their offensive line has been beat up a lot this year, and they've still been able to have a steady rushing and passing attack. They have an amazing field goal kicker, which is a big deal in these close games that we don't talk about enough, and in the front half of the league of forcing interceptions. And I was so impressed when they almost beat the Bucks in Brady's return game. They took the defending Super Bowl champions with all 22 starters returning wire to wire and missed on a field goal in some bad weather. They realistically should have won that game. The game against the Cowboys was also incredibly close, but people don't give the Patriots the respect that they can and will beat the best teams in the NFL. And this was not the case last year, so that means we need to talk about their new additions that we haven't talked about since the season started. Maybe the best free agent acquisition so far is Matthew Judon. This man is having an incredible season. It might be the long sleeve red undershirt, but he just jumps off the screen when you watch him. He is relentless in pursuit of the ball. He already has 8 sacks in 8 games and an additional 22 quarterback pressures. Their tight end duo with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I knew was going to be an incredible fit for their system. And boy, has it ever been. A pinpoint quarterback like Mac Jones, who already looks like a veteran with his ability to read defenses, check into other plays, and always takes what's open, has been so much fun to watch. And it's not absurd to say that just a handful of plays are different. This team is 7-1, and I know you could say that for a bunch of teams, but with a rookie quarterback and Bill Belichick as a coach, you can only expect ample room for improvement and growth, and you can start expecting these plays to start swinging in their favor. And I think we're already starting to see it. The Patriots early on the season, the main problem was 3 versus 6, or field goals versus touchdowns. They would have been unstoppable driving the ball down the field, running and passing it all over, having these 10 to 17 play drives, stalling out and taking 3 points. But this has changed with the health of the offensive line, Matt gaining confidence and proving to himself that he can put the ball in tight windows in the red zone, and play calling to optimize their talents. This is another huge reason why they're starting to winning games and more of these close games. And to harp on Mac Jones again, he was absolutely the perfect pick for them. He's averaging 250 yards a game passing, almost 70% completion percentage. It's so rare to say that you're not going to lose the game because of your rookie quarterback, but that's how it feels. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, all more talented without a doubt. But they could all go out and single-handedly throw you out of the game, and they all have done that this season, and that's okay. They're rookies. They're going to get more consistent, and some of them can be very special. But I say all this to say what Mac is doing is unbelievable. Watching their games, if you blurt it out, you could never have guessed he's a rookie quarterback. And this is what an AFC with an extra playoff spot, again, I can absolutely see the Patriots making it. The Browns are dealing with a Baker injury. I don't believe in the Steelers. Who knows what the Raiders are after all the constant off the field drama, so they could absolutely capable of making the playoffs even at 4-4 if they continue to do what they're doing for the rest of the season. And if I'm a top seed, I do not want to see the Patriots in the playoffs. If I'm the Bills, Ravens, Titans, I'm gonna try and avoid them with my life because they will never be out of games. But let me know what you guys think, and I actually want to take a second. I was going to make a video on this, but if you've made it to this point, this is where we're going to talk about it in this. I really want to talk about kind of what's going on in Las Vegas right now, but more specifically what's going on with Derek Carr, because the NFL, the leader of the football team, he has had some of the most insane off the field problems that we've seen in the NFL in a while. John Gruden, piece of shit. I mean, what he said was atrocious. That is a huge distraction. That is your head coach making those kinds of things. But what he came out and said, if you haven't seen his interviews when he talks both about it, I'm not going to do it justice. I might make it sound bad. But what he comes out with the heart of he never condones or accepts what they said. He completely rejects it. He said, I hate the sin, but I love the man. Just goes on and on about what he saw about Henry Ruggs. He mourns. He was choking up. He's tearing up for the victim because what Henry Ruggs did was so stupid. He mourns for the victim. He knows Henry Ruggs' life as he know it, apart from the field, is just done forever. He might be in jail up to the next 20-25 years, which is insane. But the way he just carries himself and so much love and compassion to his teammates. I mean, I know he is a very strong Christian and shows his faith, puts it right on his sleeve. But what I've seen from Derek Carr is a leader. I've always kind of wondered, why are they keeping him around? Like, why don't they just go out and get someone else? Is he really the guy? But seeing what kind of teammate and husband and father and just what man he is, that's who you want leading your NFL franchise team. And I just want to give him some major props for that. So if you stuck around to this part, that's what I think about the Derek Carr situation. I don't want to get into the John Gruden or Henry Ruggs. That's why I haven't made videos about it, because obviously it's obvious to me that they were both completely horrible things in their own separate right. But Derek Carr, what he's been able to do to handle that, I have so much respect for him. I was going to make a full video on it, just who Derek Carr is as a person, but I kind of want to keep it with a film analysis. So if you've made it to this point, that's what we're talking about. But back to it. Let me know what you guys think about the Patriots. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think of the Patriots and what their chances are for playoff success. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. I love and appreciate you all so much. And as always, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.